Hey guys, welcome back to my simple kitchen. Guess what today is? It is fantasy football draft day. I play fantasy football with my husband and my two teenage sons and their friends. We have a 10-player fantasy football league, and tonight is the night that we draft our players. This is the third year, I think, that we are doing this, and the boys all come over to my house and we spend a few hours eating dinner together and having our draft party where we draft all our players. And I always make gumbo for this occasion every year, and I make a nice dessert, some kind of cake or cupcakes. So tonight I'm going to show you all how I make my gumbo, and I'm going to make my special Shishi's sugar cake. So that'll be my second video tonight. The gumbo is divine. If you've never made gumbo, it's really not that difficult. Those of you who are afraid of a roux, it's really fairly simple. Now, what I will start with, I'll show you my ingredients that I start with. Now, right here, I have, this is my sausage. I'm going to make a sausage and chicken gumbo because the sausage and chicken gumbo is a lot easier on the checkbook when you have a lot of teenage boys coming over to eat. So the seafood gumbo, a lot more expensive and a lot more special. So tonight it's going to be the chicken and andouille. Andouille sausage is a fatty, spicy sausage, but adds such a robust deliciousness to the gumbo that I use that over. Some people will use smoked sausage, some people will use, other types of sausage, but I use an andouille, and a lot of people down in Louisiana will use an andouille, Andouille, I believe. This is the package. If you can see it, andouille. This is what my andouille sausage looks like. I've cut it up. I also use two different types of, I use breast meat and I use thigh meat. I also use the holy trinity of seasoning down here in Louisiana. It is onions, bell pepper, onions, celery, and garlic. Also add bell pepper. I have 3 giant things of chicken broth. Some people add water. I like the flavor that the chicken broth brings to it. And now what I'm going to start with first is, I'm going to start with, too low, I have you too low here. I'm going to start with a cup of oil. I'm going to put it in a hot pan. I don't know if you can hear it sizzling, but it's sizzling. And then I'm going to add a cup of my flour. And what you're going to do is you are going to constantly whisk that. So it's a cup of oil and a cup of flour. And then I'm going to turn my oven down to probably mid. When you first start, you probably don't want to do it on a high heat because you want to do it slowly. You want to make your roux slowly so it doesn't separate. I will try and do it a little faster because I've made it a lot. But what you want to do, my hint, the best hint I ever got was from my father-in-law. And what my father-in-law always told me was, when you're making a roux, get something the color of the roux that you want and use that as your guide, because I always tended to hurry it along and say, oh, I think it's done, and then by the time you add your vegetables that would stop the cooking process, I'd say, oh, it's not dark enough, because in my family we like a very dark roux. So what I do is I'll get a chocolate bar I'll get a chocolate bar such as this, and believe it or not, a lot of people don't realize, this is about the color I want my roux to get. It starts out a very light color. If you can see, that's my roux. That's how it starts out. And by the time I'm done, it's going to be pretty darn close to the color of that. And you just have to stand here and whisk and whisk and whisk. And you really can't leave your roux, because if it separates, guess what? You got to start all over. And that is no fun, believe you me. So tonight we have our party, our draft party, and last year I didn't even make it to the playoffs. But the year before, who's got 2 thumbs and 1? This girl. Yeah, I beat all those guys. Yep. Thanks to my football husband, Jimmy Graham, who no longer plays for the New Orleans Saints. Sad face. But he helped me win 2 years ago. And so this year, I don't really have a plan. I never do. I just kind of go into it, you know, blindly. And who I get, I get. And I just, I play hard, and I try to beat all those boys. And I plan on winning this year. I'll let you know how it goes. So anyway, I'm going to stop now and let this roux, so I don't bore you all to tears. And when the roux gets dark, I'll come back and I'll show you what I do from there. Okay? See you in a bit.